Happy Valentine's Day. So I got a message this morning from God to film this video today. I've been pretty quiet about my faith on social media, and so I wanted to share a little bit about that with people today because I've been pretty quiet about it, and I get a very strong message that it's time for me to be bold and to quit hiding and to quit being quiet. So that's why I'm filming this now. So I grew up going to a lot of different churches, and my parents took me to a Unitarian church when I was little. One set of grandparents were Baptist, another set went to a Methodist church. Because one of them, my grandmother on my mom's side, was she was Methodist. No, she was Baptist, and my grandfather was Episcopalian, so they kind of compromised and went to a Methodist church. And I was very involved in the Episcopalian church as a teenager. I went to this movement called Happening, which was like a kind of retreat thing, and I was very, very involved. And I was actually in this position called a rector at one point, where I was kind of like the director of that event. And then when I got married to my third husband, all my kids were with the same dad, for anybody wondering that. They were with my second husband. When I got married to my third husband, he put all sorts of doubts in my mind, and so I moved away from Christ. And for like 20 years, I met my boyfriend. His name's Tracer. I met him back in 2021 on Bumble. I was staying with some friends in Asheville, and he lives in Kingsport, Tennessee. And so I moved up to that area, and we were, dating each other for quite a while. And then he got a message on January 27th of 2023 that God told him that he needed all of him right then, and that we had to change a lot of things, that we were doing. I got a very similar message. I don't remember if it was a few days or a few weeks later. Unfortunately, we didn't really listen to that. We weren't really obedient with that. And at that point, before that happened, my business was doing very well. And, looking back on it, when we started being disobedient, that's when I started having a lot of struggles financially with my business. And I have been feeling kind of frustrated with the work I was doing for a couple years. I wasn't really feeling aligned with, I'm on this dock, it's moving. Feels kind of funky. So I wasn't really feeling aligned with a lot of the work I was doing, and I was really doing a lot of procrastinating on a lot of projects because of that. And I was also wanting to build revenue streams, not just do one-off projects. So I had been praying a lot for wanting to do revenue streams. Now let me back up a little bit. In late 2022, before Tracer came to me with that message in January of 23, he shared with me this video that was kind of debunking this video called Zeitgeist, where Zeitgeist is not what my ex-husband showed me, but it was a lot of the same type of information, and that had moved me away from Christ for like 20 years. And I, at that point, started experiencing a lot of cognitive dissonance, and I wanted to believe again, but I was really struggling. 20 years of believing something and then finding out it's not true can create an immense amount of cognitive dissonance in your brain. And I wanted to reconnect with Christ, but I was struggling so hard. And so when he came to me with this information in January 2023, it was really hard. And I was struggling with us making these changes in our relationship. And he suggested I watch The Chosen. So I started watching The Chosen, and that is what helped me reconnect with Christ. And Jesus is so real and so relatable in that show. If you haven't seen it, even if you're not a Christian, I would really highly recommend it. It's an incredible TV show. It's better than most TV shows out there as far as just the way it's filmed and the cinematography and the storylines and everything. It's just really incredible, very powerful. So I started watching that, and that is what helped me reconnect with Christ. And I wrote this song called Lamb of God very shortly after that. I'm going to be recording that soon. I'm very excited about that. But Tracer and I were still having a lot of challenges in our relationship because I was really wanting us to move things forward, and he didn't feel comfortable with that because God had said he wanted all of him. And I got this, we started really triggering each other this summer, and I was getting triggered. My triggering was causing me to do things that were making him feel pressured. And so we started this kind of a break, not a break up, but some time apart. Initially, we texted after 1 week. This started on July 29th of last year. We texted after 1 week and then had a call after 2 weeks. And then we were having calls once a week and seeing each other once a month. And then some things happened that made me get even more triggered. A lot of it was, I had a lot of financial stress going on. And when somebody has anxiety, it's like there's this cup, right? And the more things you have in your cup that are stressful to you, the more full your anxiety cup gets filled. And so my anxiety cup was pretty full, and there was like one little thing that he did not respond to something, and it really triggered me. And so then I ended up doing some things that made him feel really pressured. And that's when things got really not so great. And so I did a lot of praying, and this was I think on like November 5th. This is actually the day of the election that all that happened. Actually, the next day started that night, and then the next day is when things kind of fell apart. So I did a lot of praying. On November 9th, I got a very strong message from God that we had never given him that time alone that he told us he needed, and that neither one of us was ready for our life mission, and that he needed this time with us. And so I had a call with Tracer on the 13th of November and told him that, and I was given a very specific date for us to reconnect. It was January 25th. I know there was a big planetary alignment on January 25th. I was not aware of that at that time, but that's the date that kept coming up for me. And so I told him that, and he said, well, let's talk on the 26th. A couple of things came up, so it ended up being the 28th that we ended up talking, which was fine. And it was really good to hear from him again. And then I saw him 8 days ago in person for the first time in over 3 months, and it was really great. And I asked him, when does he feel like we should reconnect? And he said he felt like 3 weeks would be a really good time frame. So that's where we're at now. Now, why am I sharing all this with you? Because I feel like this might be useful for some other couples to know. If you're going through struggles in your relationship and you feel like you're just kind of triggering each other, then perhaps you're off track with your life mission. Perhaps you're not really doing what God's asking you to do. And I think sometimes it can be helpful to have a break, not a break up, not being open to seeing other people, still being in a relationship, but taking a communication break for a while and having that time to go all in with God. Now, during this period, the 2.5 months from November 13th until January 28th when we talked, a lot happened. I lost 20 pounds. I figured out how to hack GLP-1 naturally. I wrote an ebook about that. I wrote an ebook about how I lost 61 pounds in the carnivore diet a couple years ago. I started a weight loss accelerator program inside my online community on Circle called Dragonfly Oasis. I've got some people in there beta testing that right now. If that's something you're interested in, just reach out to me. How best to connect with me, go to julieetteaston.com. You can find my social links at the bottom of that page and reach out to me on any platform and message me. That's linked there. And I also started creating this Boundaries Accelerator program, which will be launching later this year. I am also working on this Life Mission Accelerator program. I feel like we are at a critical point in the future of humanity, and it is critically important for all of us to be truly on track with our life missions. We are all needed right now to do what we came here to do. And many of us have not been focused on that. And it's important. It's really important. And I have had so many blessings pouring through in my life. I now, God removes things from your life that are not aligned to make room for things that are. I've had people exiting my life that were no longer aligned. I've had people, this thing I'm doing with Tracer, it's been really amazing for me to see the people that have been supportive of it. And even if they don't completely get it, they're supportive. And then other people who think it's stupid. They tell me it's stupid. It doesn't make any sense. Well, great. That lets me know those people are not aligned with my life anymore, and they need to not be in my life anymore. And I'm grateful for it all. Tracer is the thing that originally attracted me to him more than anything else when I saw his profile on Bumble, was how deep his faith was and how strong his beliefs were. I, have been with many men in the past, in my past relationships, that did not have strong faith, that did not have strong beliefs, that would change who they were based on who they were around, and just basically had no backbone. And he's not like that at all. And I 100% completely trust in divine timing. I 100% completely trust that things are going to work out with him the way they're supposed to, exactly when they're supposed to. God's made that very clear to me. There were many times I was scared and I wanted to walk away because I was afraid I was going to get my heart broken because of anxiety issues. And every time God intervened and told me, no, Juliet, this is the man for you. You're just going to have to be patient. And part of it was I needed to be on track with my life mission. I needed to be focused on what I came here to do. And I finally am. And I am extremely grateful. And I am seeing how different people I'm interacting with on a regular basis are witnessing these changes in my life and how it's having an impact on them. And I am seeing God working through me. And I am so grateful. My greatest prayer every day is, God, use my hands, use my feet, use my voice, use all of me. And that's part of the lyrics in Lamb of God. And I want to do his work. I want that more than anything else. I recently have had a client I've been working with since 2019 reach out to me, wanting me to do profit sharing with them on a project. And I had a friend tell me a few months ago, she's like, get ready to be on camera. I've been avoiding that for about a year. I've been kind of hiding out, and God made it very clear to me this morning. It's time to stop hiding. It's time to be bold. I need you to be bold. I need you to share your voice. I need you to speak up and stop being afraid and hiding in the shadows. And quit caring what anyone thinks. If people fall away from you, they're not meant for you. If things exit your life, they're not meant for you. And I welcome it all. And when I did see Tracer 8 days ago, one of the things he said that I thought was really incredible is he said, even when I have an injury or I get sick, I thank God for that because I know there's a lesson in it. And this man has the deepest faith of any man I've ever known. And I'm so incredibly grateful I met him. And I'm so incredibly grateful to have him in my life. And I know that right now, it's really important for me to continue to be all in with God and for him to continue to be all in with God. And I know I really need this time. And I have had God shaping my life so much. And one of the things that I heard on November 9th is that he needed both of us to be like clay in his hands, that he was going to be doing very deep transformation with both of us during this period of time. And he definitely has with me in huge ways. And I have realized that a lot of anxiety comes from focusing on the future. A lot of depression comes from focusing on the past. I've had a lot more anxiety than I've had depression. I don't really tend to focus on the past, but I do tend, or have tended, to focus on what ifs of worst case scenarios that could happen in the future. And I'm not doing that anymore. God is eternal. God is outside of time and space. God has a perspective for our lives and a plan for our lives that is far beyond what we could create for ourselves, far beyond what we could imagine. And I trust in that completely now. And I am having so much divine confirmation. I woke up to 3 really powerful, amazing messages this morning that were all confirming what I had heard earlier this morning, that before I went back to sleep, that I needed to do this video today, and that it's time for me to start sharing my gifts in a more powerful way. One of the things I went through during this period is, as things were falling away from my life and I was having a lot of financial struggle, is I was out driving Uber Eats a lot. Well, when I was out driving Uber Eats, I started listening to praise and worship songs. And I started saving the ones that I really liked, and especially ones, and I created a playlist. I shared that earlier on social media. I will, on my YouTube, my YouTube is linked from JulietEaston.com. So if you go there and look at my playlist, you'll see my favorite praise and worship songs that I have saved. And I started doing some dance videos. I've done 6 so far. I think only 5 are on YouTube. For some reason, one of them they blocked, even though I picked the audio from that song. And I've never done dance videos to praise and worship songs before. I haven't really listened to praise and worship songs very much in my life until this period of time. So that's really like, when I use like Apple Music and put it on my radio station, I end up skipping through a lot of secular songs now. I really want to be focused on Him, be focused on God, and be focused on what I came here to do. And nothing is more important to me than that right now. And I feel like everything that is coming into my life, all the different projects I'm working on, are building assets. They're not one-off projects where I'm just getting paid and I send the client the invoice and then I'm done. These are things where I'm building things with people, and they're not bringing in money yet, but I know they will. I have been shown very clearly that they will, and that God is going to be leading me. I also started writing a lot of praise and worship songs, which I had not done since I was much younger. I wrote some when I was like 18, when I was in my 20s and early 30s, and then when I fell away from Christ, I didn't. And so my faith is deepening more each day. I lean more deeply into surrender each day, and I am so grateful for all the ways I'm being divinely led. I am so grateful for all the people that are amazing that are coming into my life. I'm also working on a book right now that is blending scripture with quantum physics and some other cool things. Very excited about that. And I also recently wrote a short ebook on the importance of divine timing, which if you want that, just let me know. Just reach out to me and I'll send that to you for free, just a PDF. So I am just like so blessed and so excited about the future. And I am just so grateful for everything going on in my life right now. And thank you for taking the time to listen to this. And I hope you are having a wonderful Valentine's Day, or a wonderful day if you're seeing this later. And many, many blessings to you. And I hope that you get on track for your life mission if you're not already. And I hope that you lean more deeply into your faith than you ever have, and that you let God lead every step of your journey, because we all need to do that right now if humanity's going to end up in a good place. So much love. Love you.